In the previous discussion, it is clear that the specimen which was preserved in 1945 in Rinpoche temple was initially a manipulated one by keeping one intact tooth and a piece of gold, because that can never be the end product of non-recognition. There was manipulation. Number two, now again manipulation and fudging. This is a criminal offense. Now what we see, the plenty of human body bony parts which were not there initially. Now it is introduced there by replacing the previous specimen. This change of specimen, this is fudging and manipulation, is a criminal offense. That's why, and this criminal offense takes place all over the world by changing specimen. And how to filter it, how to check it. That's why there is a grammar, there is a process. That process is of law, also forensic medicine. And that I am quoting from this textbook. Here is a chapter. Chapter subject is preservation of medico-legal evidence. Preservation of medico-legal evidence by Arthur J. McBee. Arthur J. McBee. And here I am reading. Evidence is legally acceptable in the courts only if evidence is legally acceptable to the courts only if it meets rigorous tests. Number one, it must be obtained in a legal manner. It must be obtained in a legal manner. It must be relevant to the issue. It must be relevant to the issue. The chain of custody of the item must be intact and known. It must be evaluated by, that's the fourth point, it must be evaluated by qualified expert examiners who are available to present their findings and their opinions concerning its interpretation or significance. The recognition, identification and proper safeguarding of evidence is most important, as there may be only one chance to procure it. It is in a given case. And this is for filtering, to check out the criminal attempt of changing the specimen, fudging the specimen. Here, in this case of the so-called specimen in the Rinpoche temple, if we think of the number one condition, it must be obtained in a legal manner. Will the Japan government, will the Rinpoche temple give in affidavits, will submit an affidavit that they obtained, they preserved this specimen from this source? Till today, they have submitted no evidence. No affidavit. That's why, and there are so many stories, different stories of this specimen coming to the, different ways of this specimen coming to the Rinpoche temple. And till today, no authority, either from the Japanese government or from the Rinpoche temple, has submitted anything in affidavit. That's why this is not a legally preserved specimen. Number two, it must be relevant to the case. Is this relevant to the case? How can it be? They are telling that this is the end product of the cremation of Ichiro Okura. They are telling Ichiro Okura died in the plane crash. And Ichiro Okura is the pen name of, sacred name of Subhash Chandra Bose. And the record showing Ichiro Okura was admitted in the hospital on 17th August. And he died as per record, also giving the records to the JNCI. He died on 19th August. Now how can this be related to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, whom your story is telling that he died in the plane crash on 18th August. The plane crashed on 18th August and he died on 18th August. Then it must be, admission date must have been 18th. And this Ichiro Okura's date must have been 18th. But sorry, this story is not matching. Number 2, the government of Taiwan is telling that on that period there was no plane crash. Then this alleged dash is not matching with the story, is not in the chain of the story. Number 3, the chain of custody of the item must be intact and known. The chain of custody of the item must be intact and known. Means, who collected this specimen from the crematorium? Who preserved there in the local temple? Then who carried, or who was the custodian there temporarily? And then who carried this as so-called ashes from Taiwan to Japan airport? And where was temporarily? Who took it into Renkoji temple? And who received it? Where is the logbook of this medical legal specimen? So vital. Chain is not known. There is so many stories parallel, available. And only then the question of medical legal testing of this specimen comes in. This is the fourth part of the chain of action. And this in the fourth stage, there the question of medical legal testing. First, so many testing, the morphological testing, the anthropological testing, and last one is the DNA testing. So where we are jumping? A manipulated specimen, a false specimen, a manufactured specimen taken from outside, planted there, replacing the old one. How we are matching? This is a criminal offense, an offense against the people of India. And these big persons are in this conspiracy. They are all doing all these games for their own purpose and their dynasty purposes, and to satisfy the interest of the foreign masters who are ruling this country through these so-called politicians, so-called rulers of our country, so-called our representatives. This is anti-national. This is against people of India, is against nation. These are the acts of traitors.